All right, guys. First week of tipping. This is my Kempo picks. So much sport happening this week. I'm very excited. We've got boxing, we've got footy, AFL, NRL, we've got UFC 276. I'm going to make a separate video just for that because it's probably the biggest card this year. We've got Formula One, British Grand Prix. We've got Australia Rugby Union that's on this week. And there's many more sports, but I'll be covering most of that. First of all, First of all, I'll start off with boxing. So, this weekend we got Joe Joyce versus Christian Hammer. I've been watching Joe Joyce for the last few fights. Don't know much about Christian Hammer, but I looked at his record, a few highlights. What I can see is that he doesn't have the style to be Joe Joyce. Joe Joyce, the juggernaut, is just far too big, and I think he's on this momentum run right now. He's looking for the heavyweight title right now, but he has to wait for either Tyson Fury to give up the belt, even though he says he's retired. But I don't know how true that is. Everyone says different things. Or he has to wait for AJ and Usyk too, which, very excited for. I'll do another one later on for that. But I think Joe Joyce has got to knock out Christian Hammer. And then whilst that's happening in Queensland, I'm pretty sure Eddie Hearn's got another card there. Forgive me if I say these names wrong, but Maris versus Jai Opetaia. So for the IBF Cruiserweight title, Maris is the champion, and Jai is a young undefeated fighter. By the looks of it, I've watched a few highlights of both of them, watched maybe a fight or two. Well, Maris has only ever lost to Usyk, which that alone is saying he's very bloody good. Jai is a very young undefeated. He seems like a very slick boxer, fast reflexes. Maris is a bit older now. As good as Maris is, I'm going to go with Jai. Just the way, because Maris is a bit of a power puncher, and I think Jai has what it takes to outbox the power puncher, especially Maris is 37 now. So I think the young slickness will be able to get past him. So I think he'll win on points. So boxing will go Joe Joyce by knockout and Jai to win by points. All right, AFL. This week's going to be quite good. Last week, I didn't do too well, but to be honest, last week it was a lot of weird stuff going on. Like West Coast won. They hadn't won in a fucking while. Dockers lost against Carlton, but that was a tough game. And Brisbane got smacked by Melbourne. I can't remember everything else off the top of my head. But this week, I'm going to put... So we've got Brisbane versus Bulldogs. Despite Brisbane losing last week pretty heavily to Melbourne, I still think they're going to beat Bulldogs. I think Brisbane's got the better team. Carlton's versus St Kilda. I believe Carlton's going to beat St Kilda within 20, 30 points maybe. Carlton's just looking really good, but St Kilda ain't bad either. Sydney, I believe Sydney are going to beat the Bombers. Sydney's got a great team right now. The top 8 team, they're looking great. Demons are going to versus Crows. I think Demons are going to keep that momentum, just absolutely blow through the Crows. This Pies against Gold Coast, yep. I'm going to go with the Pies. I know Gold Coast looking pretty good, but I just have a feeling with the Pies this week, they're just going to bring it to this week and just got to not smash them, but within 20 points, I think they're going to beat them by. Richmond versus West Coast. I know West Coast had a good win last week, but I reckon Richmond are just going to beat them by at least 30 points. I just don't have a lot of confidence in West Coast. The Hawks are versing the Giants. I know the Giants are the favourites, but I'm going with the Hawks this week. Another feeling-based one. So, yeah, anything could happen. Freo versus Port. Okay, I know Freo lost against Carlton last week, but I do reckon Freo are either second or the best team in the comp. So I reckon Freo are going to beat Port, especially at home. I think we're going to rally behind our last loss and just blow through Port Adelaide. I won't say number base because I'm not too sure, but I just have a feeling we're going to win. Right, what else is there? There's Formula One this weekend, the British Grand Prix. I think Max Verstappen is looking too strong right now. He's gonna take the win, and Sergio Perez, I think he'll be in the top 3 or 4, and obviously I think not Red Bull, sorry, Ferrari with Charles Leclerc, and I can't remember the other guy, but I reckon it'll be those 4 because Formula One seem to always keep the same 4 per season, but I do think Max Verstappen will win. Rugby union, got Australia versus England this weekend. I'm going to back Australia. I think we've got, well, to be honest, I'm not too sure. England, I haven't actually watched too much rugby union in a while, but I'm going to back Australia, just feeling based and purely because I'm Australian. Yes, I'm going to make a separate video for UFC 276. Stick around. I'll put that up in a second. Cheers.